Who am I?
Who are we? Beyond this illusion of limitation.
Aho.
Aho.
The depth of music production that's gone through the music, you know.
You don't really ever find out about who you are. You're always changing and you're always evolving.
It's like, I want theater. I want Who Am I? How you've managed to get artists from around the world to come together for the various songs.
I don't just want the album to be like spiritual and only for spiritual people.
This energy, this life force, or this heaviness, or the pain, the suffering, the anxiety was almost seeping out as it was evaporating, and it was almost being absorbed by the flute. And I believe the power is within that wood itself.
This hits hard with his drums, with the banging, and just so, like you said, powerful, grounding, and so straight to your soul kind of thing.
Tell us about that journey from Child of the Mountain to then being an international composer.
We're all connected in a sense, and being in nature, and it doesn't matter if it's by the sea or in the desert or in a beautiful park.
Especially with this album, we included a lot of nature sounds, and we had a lot of earth sounds in our album.
Nature knows best. Each one of us is bringing that element of authenticity from each one of our respective countries. And here we are sitting together as multinationals.
Again, just every time you come, every few hours that you listen to the mix or to the same song, it's a whole different experience within. It was really evolving, and then to the final masterpiece.
Today I feel like Toyota, and I just play it 3 or 4 times and I'm like, okay, I'm good now. And then I just find that each song has such a profound, it's like it's a horses for courses approach.
It's a kind of album where it's like Dark Side of the Moon, in my opinion. Not to that extent, but like it's a kind of album where you don't just listen to one song, you go through, it's a journey. It's funky, it's groovy, it's movie.
Lighthearted, joyful feeling of summer.
And sometimes we ignore the thing that's going to bring us the healing. We know what we need to do, but we ignore it.
Well, thanks to God. This album is a reminder to come back home.
Your soul.
We are going to do something together, and I feel like you're going to bring music back into my life.
I feel like the album is really self-titled. It's all about who you are, or kind of the journey of trying to discover who you are as both a person and a soul, and not just a body walking.
You are a child of the mountain.
So here we are, boys.
Here we are.
This is a momentous occasion.
Fahad said the same thing, exactly the same way.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's obviously before we kick things off, we always start with dropping in with cacao. And Franz, we chatted about how we were going to have this podcast. Was it going to be in my space, in your space? And we ended up deciding to be in nature. And I think before we ground with this, just tell us a little bit about why this space in particular, why you and nature, and how it threads through this album.
So I feel that in general, the message that has been coming through in the last couple of years is that we're all connected in a sense, and being in nature, and it doesn't matter if it's by the sea or in the desert or in a beautiful park, is giving us that sense. And it's not even that we actively have to think about it, but we can feel that there is some connectedness with us being here in such a space.
Beautiful.
Yeah, definitely, it's this interconnectedness to life, you know, and nature is the epitome of that, I think.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So I feel like you can also see it in our album. We have a lot of nature sounds in the album. Now, a lot of sounds you can just hear water, you can hear earth in our album a lot. So I feel like that's a very important lesson for like specificity with this album. You want to connect to nature a lot more than just sitting in a studio making music and also a lot of.
Yeah, absolutely.
Specifically, especially with this album, we included a lot of nature sounds, and we had a lot of earth sounds in our album, specifically to convey that we are we are connected to nature through this album, or we were trying to be connected to nature through this album, and not just recording in a studio and that's about it.
Yeah.
So I feel like, part of the past journey that we've been on is how to connect more to nature.
Yeah, and I think the fact that we're all intuitively and instinctively walk green, or elements of green. Franz, thank you for representing life within.
Of course. I mean, thank you for bringing the beautiful cacao, medicina.
Absolutely. So beautiful segue for us to obviously just drop in. So if you're out there and you're having your cacao and you're listening to this, feel free to pause and then kick off again. But I think just for us just to drop in, so just a short one to connect with us. So we just close our eyes. And if you're watching this podcast or listening to it, hopefully not driving, be safe. And just connect with your cup of cacao. Feel the warmth between your fingers. Drop in and just listen to the environmental sounds. Observe any last remaining thoughts. Observe them without judgment. Breathe in with a beautiful 3 seconds in through the nose. Hold for 4. Out for 5 through the mouth. Just one more. In for 3. Hold. And lastly, out for 5. Feel the warmth of the cup of cacao. Bring it close to your heart. Feel the warmth against your chest. Set that intention. Allow you to really connect with it. As you bring the cup close to your nose, breathe it in. Connecting with all senses. And when you're ready, you may have your first sip of cacao. Allow the cacao to go down. Feel it resonating, vibrating, providing an energy source for all of your cells, warming you from the inside, radiating, dropping into the heart, and allowing yourself to go from the head down into the heart and to operate from a beautiful frequency. When you're ready, you can open your eyes, observe around you, be grateful for what we've been given in life, look somebody in the eye, witness them, send love, and if you're watching this podcast with somebody, just take a moment and send love their way. And yeah, gentlemen, it's always a pleasure to make cacao for you. I really have
Thank you.
Enjoyed. I know we spoke about this on episode 1 of Cacao Connections and obviously what matters the most. We had a really beautiful conversation in my previous house, and I feel like this is growing into something really beautiful, and I really, it's been an incredible journey, and I really feel more connected to the What Matters the Most album in particular, just the latest Who Am I, just because of, I feel we've all been so intricately weaving deeper into that album, and I feel like there's a maturing of this band as well, and seeing you and Greig on the road as well, the filming, the gigs, you guys have been churning out gigs at a rapid rate, and also but the quality that's been coming out has been phenomenal. So just an appreciation that for allowing me to bring my flute magic into the mix. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
Been a beautiful mission.
Yeah.
And like what you just said is, this album is really, there's a lot of our devotion, personal devotion coming through here, which is showing up in many different ways through the music, and this sacredness that we're devoted to in life. It's a mission that I've been on for a long time through other work that I've been doing, and it's it's really very inspiring to see it coming out in me through the music and seeing it coming out through you guys as well. So it's nice how we're all in synergy to that deep message that we're bringing.
Yeah.
I feel like the album is really self-titled. It's all about who you are, or kind of the journey of trying to discover who you are as both a person and a soul, and not just a body walking. So I feel like if the more you listen to this album, the more you find out about yourself, and the more introspective this album gets, the more you listen to it.
Yeah.
Even with songs like Tayata, where even someone might not really understand the lyrics, you still feel that song very deeply, and it resonates with you on another frequency. Even me having played bass on that song, I don't know what the lyrics are saying, but still, every time I listen to that song, it makes you think, makes you kind of self-reflect. And
it's kind of also showing us more and more of what we're not as well. I think fundamentally the most important question we can ask ourselves is, who are we? Beyond our limitations, beyond our limited human self, and all the music and all these tracks are looking at that scenario and that story with a different lens, slightly different take on it, and coming from a human perspective, coming from a divine perspective, and because we're far more than we know and far more than we can think, and you can see this awakening happening throughout humanity in many different ways. 10 years ago, when I even 20 years ago when I started on my journey, it was like a very taboo subject, and it was very misunderstood, but now you see it being quite a kind of a common theory of, not everyone's embodying it in different ways, but it's nice to see it emerging through consciousness, through human awareness. And it's nice to be able to bring that message through the music. It's really, for me, it's touching on probably the most important inquiry that we can be asking ourselves. Who are we? Beyond this illusion of limitation.
I feel like it's an answer that you don't really ever find out about who you are. You're always changing and you're always evolving. So like you said, it's not about who you are, it's about who you're not or who you're not trying to be. That is the message of the album, pretty much.
Franz, for you, the who am I, the eternal question, what was the inspiration behind the who am I? Was it through the lessons learnt overseas on your various journeys with your guru, or is it what is the inspiration behind the title of the album?
So the interesting thing is that Greig came up with a song and the title, the lyrics and the title for the title track, actually, Who Am I? And at the same time, my teacher in the US that I've been working with for the last 5 years, and I mean working with means just basically absorbing the wisdom, going through ceremony, retreat, introspection, meditation, all of that. He's coming from a lineage of teachers that goes back to Ramana Maharshi, and Ramana Maharshi is the person who is on the cover. And I decided that he has to be on the cover because this is the core of his teaching. Who am I? And that is the introspection, and that is the path to enlightenment. And it's not about just meditating or taking any sorts of medicine or whatever. It's really about asking yourself that question and being truthful about it. And I like what you said before, Fahad, that it's also about who you are not, and about shedding all the false images that we build up during life, because ultimately we are born into a relationship of two human beings, and then we get all the genetics, the trauma, the unhealed parts of them, plus we get so much of that. Those we build up images so much during during our upbringing, during our childhood, how we grow up and how we are in school, who we are hanging out with, our friends. Teachers tell us how to behave. So we always get told like how we have to be, but we never get asked who we actually are. And so I feel like it's this album is a reminder to come back home, to go on the journey back home to yourself. And I feel that this is the real healing work that not only us here have to do, or the people who watch the podcast, but the whole world. This is the journey that the whole world is on. And there is no other answer to burnout and to fast-paced living that we have nowadays in this world than to come back home to yourself.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And every little bit of what you've been saying comes out in those lyrics. Within who am I? See the truth beyond delusion. The path of pain. Is a gift that we're creating for ourselves on the journey back home to discovering our own divinity. The game of life is, a gift that we're creating for ourselves. That's creating all these different experiences within our humanness and our experiences of limitation. That's helping us learn and grow more and more about the spiritual being that we are, having a human experience rather than a human being trying to be spiritual, if you really look at the words on every line of who am I, it's talking about the human journey, the trauma that we go through, the guiding to the divinity. And it's an ebb and flow of this journey, all the way through to reclaiming and rediscovering that it was really ourselves as the divine that we're searching for our entire life, and there is, in that journey, is just liberation of our soul, our this beingness, this awareness, to realize that we're also the awareness that's observing this experience and also creating the experience that we're observing. And the more we can remove our identity from our limitations and then start to embody this infinite, eternal, true nature of us, then we now bring in a new frequency out into life. So the music that we're doing is also bringing this awareness, but helping humanity guide themselves to that frequency so they can start radiating it within their own life. And this is the very vibrations that are creating the reality that's unfolding around us. And that's what I believe in my human experience.
Sure.
Many sages, mentors have been singing a song of this in their own beautiful ways, like Alan Watts, Eckhart Tolle, Tom Campbell's, and Maharshi, and all these other gurus that we love to follow are all singing that similar song in their own beautiful, unique way with the body of knowledge and wisdom that's coming through. And it's a real deep honor to be able to bring this message and this vibration of awareness into humanity with this music.
For you especially, Greg, I have a question, and it's also for the parents who are watching the podcast to kind of reflect on, because you're the only parent in this band.
Mamo and Daddy. The Ali Dad.
So you, out of the few songs that you wrote on the album, there is Who Am I, and then there's also a love message dedicated to your daughters in the album. So do you think being a parent kind of limits you, or that is who you are, that is what defines you, or is that just a part of it?
Within our human journey, I think the most beautiful gift that we get to experience is the creation of life, and when you actually create life and you have that life that you've created in your hand, you truly embody the true notion of unconditional love, and which I believe is at the core of our being, and core of all our beings, which I believe is the very vibration of creation itself, and to be able to have that experience in our human experience is probably the most sacred experience that we can have.
How do you not limit that? How do you not let that limit you from discovering different parts about yourself? Because I feel like a lot of parents nowadays, when they give birth, they're just like, I'm a parent, this is it, just who I am, and that's it. How do you...
Life ends. I can't pursue my career, my love, because I've got this thing that I need to look after. For me, it's just enhanced my life on every level. Look, I'm not saying, in my human journey as a dad, I've had my challenges and my ups and downs, the one of the most difficult things I've been dealing with as a parent is moving to another country, and my children live in another country, and that's brought all kinds of experiences that I've found quite challenging. But then when I see behind that, it's really showing me the root of my love for them and who I want to be as a father, who I want to be as a masculine man having a human experience, who I want to be as a creative being in my human experience. For me, it's just enhanced my life on every level, and the challenge that you have and the additional activities you have by being up a child is, just pure beauty from my perspective.
I've witnessed you as a father in different aspects, and also within the album as an artist in different aspects, and I find the maturing of both. It's been quite phenomenal to watch, from seeing your kids at the UK Medicine Festival and how you've interacted with them there, and how you're the father unit, and then how you then essentially have brought that strong masculine stance within your own song, essentially, like the where you've been just embodying the lyrics, this specific song where you've taken the mantle, you with your drum, and I feel that is essentially, you've brought that father, strong masculine figure into the album as well, which has been fantastic. It started with us talking about Child of the Mountain, and we were all bringing our own element into it, and I felt like then the different elements came out, and then Franz has always been, the man with the lyrics and the voice and the guitar, but then now we've been actually working all together and almost weaving a tapestry together on every single song. And there's only one or two songs where one of the artists stands out more than the other, but I found that the cohesion between all of the artists on the album has been fantastic. So I think just talking back to that Child of the Mountain experience, Franz, where you could see how we were all pulling together and figuring each other all out, and we had Fritz on the album for the first time with Child of the Mountain, and then you've got Fritz who's in Germany, and now you're managing. And I think this is important, where talking about the weaving of the tapestry, how you've managed to get artists from around the world to come together for the various songs. Tell us about that journey from Child of the Mountain to then being an international composer, essentially, with you and William, and how you brought it together.
Yeah, beautiful question. Thank you. And I would actually have to backtrack a little more, because I started out after having another ego death experience by having to cancel my festival, letting go of several employees in my record label, to then start fresh also with music. I also ended my old band back then, Dre, which was a project that I was following to be a professional musician. And then I dialed it down to just making acoustic songs by myself, singer-songwriter style. And I've never felt worthy of doing that by myself. I've always played in bands, contributed, second voice, second guitar, adding stuff here and there. And that was the first time for me to actually stand up and to write my own music, and also to own it and sing it and play it. And then I did a couple of songs, and then I realized that William, who I was working with in the beginning more as a producer, he more and more evolved into a co-songwriter. And then Fritz came back into the picture, and we've been making music for more than 15 to 20 years actually. And back at the time when we started, we were playing acoustic cover songs, and we went through difficult times, like being in love with the same girl, my mother kind of being a little bit disapproving at the time of Fritz, and that was all weighing heavy on our relationship. And I always said, no, the brotherhood and the love that is in here, and it is expressed through the music, is worth more, or is stronger than all of these conflicts on a human level. And so at the time we called ourselves What Matters the Most, because what matters the most is that we were just going through this experience, making music. And then we started to make music again, and he started to be again an active part of even the new songs. And we did Bigger Than You, which he was singing, was the first song that he was singing in What Matters the Most. And I said, like, I can't do that under my own name. It just feels wrong to write Franz Peters, singer-songwriter, on top of songs that are co-created with my friends and with my brothers in life. So I said, okay, I'm going to drop that. And then we went back to What Matters the Most. And then once I moved here to Dubai, I met you at some point, Justin, and then you introduced me to Greig. We immediately started making music together. And so for the first album, I've had quite a few material written. And so it was kind of you guys chiming in here and there. And Fahad was not even in the picture for the first album at the time. And there came beautiful collaborations, like straight away we sat in the studio, and Here and Now basically came out of a session while we were recording for the album. And we got a couple of your beautiful flute takes in as well. But after that, it was really like, and that was always my dream for this to become something bigger than me. And to include you and give you the space to express yourself with all the other projects and all the things that are going on in your life, but to enter the space and have the freedom to express yourself freely. And the result is just making me so happy and filling my heart with gratitude, because I see that Greig has been really more actively involved in the songwriting. There's a lot more flute pieces with you, Justin. Even the opening piece before Child of the Mountain. Yeah. Child of the Mountain is super powerful. Tayata again, and the interludes as well. So a lot of beautiful flute in there, and then of course Fahad entering the picture with Who Am I. And banging it out, bringing that groovy, earthy power with his creative bass playing that is that has really become a trademark of the second album.
Absolutely.
So I'm absolutely grateful for that, and I think all of the contributions have elevated the album quite a bit. I mean, it's Navin also. He's singing a bit more. He's even playing guitar in one song, expressing his devotion in Hallelujah, which I find very, very beautiful and raw and sincere. And I feel that catching those raw and sincere moments on the album is really what allows people to drop into their heart space and bring healing on a different level.
A really beautiful tapestry that you've woven as the bandmaster. I don't actually quite know what else to call you, but other than the band leader, the bandmaster.
You can call me the captain.
The captain, there we go. So that'll segue to another song. But I think, Fahad, in terms of your journey with What Matters the Most, let's talk back to the origin story of how you and Franz met, and what's your personal journey been, and inner journey within What Matters the Most.
So also gonna backtrack quite a bit. So ever since coming back to the UAE, I used to study in Scotland, and that's where I picked up bass and my love for the instrument and music. And then ever since I've come here, I've been always trying to search for people who are, let's say, not experimental, but they are willing to not just play on your 4 basic chord progressions, but explore and allow for instruments to breathe outside from their basic role as just a basic bass line or a basic flute piece or a supporting drum fill or whatever. So I've been playing here for a long while, for around a year, and then I was playing a gig at Secret Garden IB, I think, and that's where I met him. And personally, I feel like it was fate, because I was just about to leave, and then I saw him sitting outside. When I came out, I'm like, we just had a talk, and he's like, I like your bass playing. I'm like, I love your locals, and we just got to talking and everything. And that's when he showed me some of his songs. I'm like, he showed me Child of the Mountain then. And then that's where I was like, this is what I've been looking for. Like, I have so many ideas already about what I can put in there, what I can add to this. Like you said, tapestry is just so open to experiment and play with and mess around with, per se. And then when we got to this album, I love how everyone gives everyone this chance to shine. We've got Tayata, for example, where he's starting it and it's very soulful and it's everything, and then a funk bass line goes in, and then it goes back to being groovy and melodic, and then his arpeggios come in, and then it goes back to being funky, and then it's all the songs, most of the songs are like that. Everyone has their chance to shine and no one's trying to overpower, which is what happens a lot in music nowadays, where it's like, no, the bass has to be super busy and the guitar has to be super busy and the vocals and everything. But for us, I feel like everyone knew exactly when everyone had their chance to, needs their chance to shine, or this is their part, this is where they feel this song more. Even though Greig wrote the song, but for me, I felt that chorus, I was like, no, I feel that it's funky, it's groovy, it's movie. Same for Who Am I, which actually was his idea for it to be a slap bass in there. I didn't see it in the beginning, but then I'm like, yeah, this hits hard with his drums, with the banging, and just so, like you said, powerful grounding and so straight to your soul kind of thing. So, which is why this project, honestly, and this album is just amazing, because you get to hear a bit of everyone in there and a bit of everyone's soul in there within the same song, not just an album as a whole.
That's beautiful, and I think also tribute to William, because as you said, each person has a time to shine. I think he is a visionary as well, and I think Franz and William together are the dream team for composing. But my God, William is on another level of just musician extraordinaire. I mean, the amount of times I've come out and there he is with his coffee. Oh, what time did you finish? Oh, I finished at 4 a.m. And he's just been absolutely machining out, tracks. And then he just takes what we give him. And it's just, you just can't believe what comes out. And you think, wow, you did this in how many hours? This is incredible. And the visionary of allowing people to shine, he individually identifies the power in each one of us. And I would say that is also a masterstroke. So good job on finding William, or William finding you, Franz.
Well, thanks to God of bringing us together.
Yeah.
And we only came together because I was in deep pain.
Yeah.
I was in a project with William to organize the festival, and for half a year we barely had a conversation.
Wow.
Because all I did was organizing, giving instructions here, there, meetings. So we didn't really connect, and it was meant to fail, that project, for us to actually have a true connection. And I think it's what came out of it is super valuable, and I can only echo what you're saying. William is an absolute mastermind, and you don't even know what he was bringing. Like, apart from all the songwriting, he recorded vocals, piano, harmonium, all kinds of things, and then adding all like little claps and all kind of egg shakers, lots of sounds that shape the whole way that the album sounds.
He is the canvas which we paint on pretty much.
Yeah,
he is the canvas, and then we just add our letter colors on there.
Yeah, the depth of his experience and skill is like, I mean, when you actually see him at work, you suddenly realize the depth of music production that's gone through the music, He brings a lot of skill, a lot of experience, and helps us all shine in a beautiful way.
And again, we were huddled in his house for like a week. The guy did not sleep. He sleeps at like 4, 5 in the morning, and then texts me at 9 a.m. He's like, "Are you up? Let's record." Bro, let me sleep. But yeah, he was extremely dedicated. And again, just every time you come, every few hours that you listen to the mix or to the same song, it's a whole different experience. So then it was really evolving, and then to the final masterpiece.
It's really beautiful to see the whole creation, from the very first thought of a melody to some lyrics that we write, and then going through the singer-songwriting process, and then giving it to William to then weave his magic through the actual post-production of it all, and to all them, the final mix and the mastering, and then releasing it into Spotify. it's been a huge education for me, and understanding what depth of experience that needs to be brought to getting a project like this off the ground. And
Yeah,
lucky
I was just going to say, yeah, we're incredibly lucky to have gone on this journey together, and it's beautiful to the idea of, as each one says, Fahad met Franz, and it was by chance that you guys met at that particular time. Greig, you and I, we know where we met at that particular time, and I saw something in you that mirrored that what I wanted for me.
Yeah.
And then I met Franz, and I wasn't supposed to be at a specific gig, and I thought, what am I doing here? And it wasn't a gig; it was a mantras evening, and at that point I thought it's not really my thing. But there was, Franz strumming on the guitar, and I thought, here we go. And I intuitively knew, not knowing how I knew, but it just was a knowingness. I said to Franz, we are going to do something together, and I feel like you're going to bring music back into my life. And he looked at me and he said, I'd like to, let's chat. And we spoke about this, I think, on podcast 1, but just each one of us dropping into each other's lives at the right time. And William bearing witness to a destruction of a creative project, and through that destructive force, witnessing rebirthing of something different. The rise of the phoenix.
Yeah.
There we go. And I just think it's beautiful.
Journey.
I think each one of the songs as well, my gosh, I think I've probably played that album at least 60 times personally. So it's just, for me, it's just an incredible sound journey of just waves washing over me and just cleansing my soul.
It's a kind of album where it's like Dark Side of the Moon, in my opinion. Not to that extent, but like it's a kind of album where you don't just listen to one song. You go through, it's a journey. It's not one album that you can just, let me cherry pick this song and this song. No, you sit down, you put the album on, you heal, you cleanse your soul, and then we go about your day kind of having discovered something new about yourself, or let go of something old about yourself. It's that kind of album for me where I just listen to it when I really need guidance, or I really need to let go of some stuff, kind of cleanse my soul. That is the album for me.
It's perfectly, you've stated it perfectly. I actually almost go with like a specific dart action or laser focus. Today I feel like Toyota, and I just play it 3 or 4 times, and I'm like, okay, I'm good now. And then sometimes I'm like, oh, it's going right through the album again, or I would play the last track because I need that climactic energy for something that I'm going to do. Like I'm off to go do a project or deliver something, and then I just find that each song has such a profound. It's like it's a horses for courses approach. And I feel like each song, if I feel like, no, I don't want that energy today, I'm switching it. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's like, I want theater. I want, who am I? I want, your song. Damn it, I've gone blank. Here and Now, yes, power song, just driving, it depends, like early morning, end of day, what's this experience? But then when I go on road trips, it's the whole album 3 or 4 times.
For road trips, I feel like it's Fritz's song.
Oh, yes.
What was it called again?
My Good Heart.
My Good Heart. Yes. He's like a road trip song. You just kind of like biking that road. It's funny as well because I've never met or talked to Fritz, and here we are on a song together in what matters the most. And it's beautiful because the bass line is complementing his vocals. Although I've never met him, but it just feels like there is already a connection established within that song without even having said hi to each other. Let's say everything. No, but like you said, every song is kind of a journey within itself.
Yeah, I want to say something also about My Good Heart, because obviously we are a little bit split across the globe. Like we are here right now in Dubai, and Navin is as well, but William lives in France and Fritz lives in Germany, and I spend most of the summers in Germany as well. So it is a challenge on one hand, because we all have our lives and we have the places where we live, and to bring everyone together. But then it is like the seasons are changing. There's just different times and different places for everything. And I feel like My Good Heart and Stray, they are both creations of the summer. And they're creations that Fritz and me have been co-writing together. And especially My Good Heart. I mean, Stray is a proper rock banger. But My Good Heart is just like this very, very light-hearted, lighthearted, joyful feeling of summer and of living life, enjoying life, and it follows the red line of the whole album to question who am I, with the lyrics even, and to realize that only my good heart has the answer and it's not up there in the head is beautiful. And at the same time, I'm really happy that Fritz is bringing in a different perspective, because I don't just want the album to be like spiritual and only for spiritual people, and you have to read Ramana and you have to get deep into all of that. No, it's everybody's going through the journey, and you don't have to study to find enlightenment and find deep inner peace. It can also be in the love to your partner, which I mean, Stray is a straight up love song, and it can be in the love to your partner, or My Good Heart, just like going through the trials and tribulations in life, and finding out, like, to come back to yourself and to find that deep joy and bliss within you that is there with that, like, besides all of the stuff that's going on. I think that is beautiful. So it's really great to have Fritz, who also happens to have an amazing voice, and especially he has a different color. He brings why Greig has this growly, earthy, powerful tone and energy. Fritz is bringing more the playful, higher songs, sometimes a little bit rocky as well, and it's beautiful to have all of that. And Child of the Mountain was basically the kickoff. It's a gang song. I always call it that way, because it's all three of us having singing parts individually, and then, as Fahad, you said it so beautifully, there's like time and place for everyone to shine
in the album and within even the same song. You can kind of see there, specifically with our wizard here, who does beautifully wind instruments, honestly. And I feel like wind instruments resonate on a whole different frequency than any other instrument in any of our songs, because you feel like you listen to everything. The bass makes you move, the guitar makes you feel, and then the wind instrument, just whenever that goes in, and you just really like,
it brings that indigenous vibe that I love so much.
it goes straight to your heart. Why is that as a wind instrumentalist?
It's interesting you say that, because each of these flutes is carved out. I mentioned in the first podcast by my flute maker Guillermo, and the way in which he does it is with such pure authenticity. And I've seen how he uses that lathe machine, but it's still very much an actual handmade process. Each of those woods that is used is from, let's just say, all around the world. Like Lebanon, they have specific cedar trees. Maybe there's a specific redwood tree, different types of trees, and the way and maple as well. And each of them carries a spirit or a soul, and it's a living, beautiful, instrument. And so when you're playing through it, your life force, my life force coming from within me, is now being played through this instrument, being amplified through the power of hundreds, potentially thousands of years of lineage of a specific tree. And now you're playing through that. And there's such beautiful stories that come from the Mexicans and the different tribes and Mesoamericans. And each of them talk about the flute playing a love story, and the flute came from a love story. It's a long story that comes from a beautiful story between a guy who falls in love with a woman, and he essentially plays flute in order to win her heart over. And so with that, I believe that it's almost at the core essence of vibrating from within us, the flute player, and it's coming out, the life force, the breath, and being amplified via the flute. So, for instance, when I've done a very beautiful sound journey, and I've observed somebody saying that they saw, as I was going around the people, so this almost heaviness, this energy, this life force, or this heaviness, or the pain, the suffering, the anxiety, was almost seeping out as it was evaporating, and it was almost being absorbed by the flute. And I believe the power is within that wood itself. And so, exactly. And so within me as well, I'm bringing that out and it's coming out. And I thought this is a beautiful visualization of maybe what's coming through an album, just as though you are bringing that creative force and you're playing it through your hands just as much as Greig and Franz are singing. It's their own life force coming through in sound vibrational frequency. And so when we're passing it through to others, they're receiving something from us. And we have a unique God-given talent, and we're using it in the right way to do good, to bring healing, to bring forth change. And I know for myself, I found myself in quite a tough situation in my own life with business and life. And, and I realized that I haven't played flute for maybe a month and a half. And for me, that irks me. And I know that that's going to bring me up. And so, for instance, I was thinking whilst you were talking about that, I thought, tonight I'm playing the flute because I know that I missed that part of my life. And sometimes we ignore the thing that's going to bring us the healing. We know what we need to do, but we ignore it because we think that this is the way forward. And so sometimes play is not necessary. We need to keep working, but play is the thing that makes our work more enjoyable.
I feel like this also adds to the overall vision of the album, which is connectedness to nature, right? Because your flute wood cannot play itself on its own, and your breath cannot play on its own, right? You need to connect to that instrument, you need to connect to nature, you need to connect to that piece of wood, essentially, to be able to make that magic, which is same for his guitar, and same for your drums, and same for my bass, and same for all the beautiful instruments out there. It really is you connecting to nature and channeling, if it's through your fingers, or if it's through a pick, or if it's through your vocal, all of this is just you connecting to nature, to your instrument. Which I feel like, again, is part of what we were trying to go for in that album, essentially.
Beautiful, yeah. It's like a tapestry of frequencies, and we all bring our own frequency, but then the tapestry of woven together into the magic that we create as a collective group. Yeah.
And as you see, we're obviously losing quite a bit of light, but I do believe that, in a sense, we are essentially being surrounded within this beautiful area, and it's almost a sacred little valley where you've got these trees are probably about 5 to 10 years old, so maybe some of them grew a little bit faster or they were transported from somewhere else, but again, nature knows best. Each one of us is bringing that element of authenticity from each one of our respective countries, and here we are sitting together, multinationals, within nature, around so many wonderful families. And essentially, I believe that this album truly is an album for many walks of life, different ages. And I think also one last very important credit for Erin as well, who played such a beautiful part in Nahor. And what a wonderful little voice. And wow, she's got a future ahead of her. I mean, it would be remiss of me to not mention her name because she is quite a force.
Yeah, absolutely. Erin Lopez has been singing on Naho, the second vocals, and she's 12 years old now. So it's absolutely
phenomenal voice, yeah,
marvelous, and
beyond her years.
And you can see that's just a God-given talent that she has, and it's really beautiful, like the innocence that she brings to the song that fits just perfectly to that feeling of lightness, and also being very raw, singing together with Navin, the Naho part in the beginning, bringing a very raw and intimate moment. So absolutely beautiful,
yeah, all from a song that was born within an experience that we had in the desert. Yeah, that was
as well, you've just now released Captain, so I think let's talk a little bit about that.
The great thing is that during the whole songwriting procedure of the Captain and Like a Phoenix and Nothing As It Seems, the idea came up to weave them together on the album through the elements. So you hear the rustling of the wind in the desert, you hear the splashing of the waves from the sea, and all of that, like those elements of nature are weaving together those 3 songs, and the Captain was originally born from a vision that I had during a hypnotherapy session, where I just saw myself standing on a ship, and I realized that it's also like life is about stepping into your authority and taking leadership, taking ownership, and it's not about ego. Oh, I tell you what to do or where to go. It's really about like just rather being a beacon of light and bringing direction and guidance. And of course, sometimes it's difficult because not everybody is on the same page always, and there's discussions to have about stylistic choices, about musical choices, organizational. Everybody has their own schedule, so we need to somehow make sure that we come together. And that song is really about that feeling of always coming back home to your inner compass and finding back home.
Yeah, I think it's a really beautiful storytelling masterpiece of the ebb and flow through our human journey, where we lose direction and find direction, and it's telling the underlying theme of our music from a different lens, maybe from a human perspective, and the trials and tribulations that we go through on our journey to then finding a deeper purpose within ourselves.
I love how the structure of the song conveys that perfectly, because a lot of people would think being the captain means it's all about you, right? But the song is not that. It starts off with him, and then we see the entire band go in the chorus, and then it goes back to only him, and then his crew come in on the chorus, right? A lot of people might think that it's just you, but it's not. It's not about being the captain means you are the shit. No, you need your foot to steer the shit, but everyone needs someone to that battery through.
Yeah, beautiful. I think it's also about telling the adventure of our humanness, taking ownership of it and going on to the 7 seas. It's like this adventure. It's getting into the hero's journey in life, stepping out of the comfort zone, and that's where the adventure of life really lies.
Yeah.
So yeah, a really beautiful storytelling masterpiece from my perspective.
Yeah, and it's so beautiful that it's so beautiful that I met also Teresa, who is a multi instrumentalist, very talented multi instrumentalist from my hometown, and I met her through a project that we did, and I asked her if she would like to play the accordion. And so we got some of her accordion in the chorus, which is subtle. Yeah, it's not dominating, but it's subtle, and it really brings that seafarer atmosphere, that shanty power out. So those little elements, I think, are really what make it special.
Well, I think from a perspective of the whole album, the amount of effort, the amount of specialness, the amount of individualism that is essentially the recording, which then becomes the collective for a phenomenal masterpiece, for me is I'm proud to have been a part of this. So I want to thank each and one of you for the journey, and it's been beautiful talking about how each of the various songs has come out, how it's come about, our individual origin stories, how it's weaved into the band. And I just think as the cacao starts to hit my soul even deeper and open up the heart, I just want to thank each one of you for having a beautiful impact and a profound impact. Franz, thank you for bringing music back in my life. You truly did. And it helps to connect me with my family as well, because we are very deep in the music. And Greig, I'm really glad and honored to have met you, brother. Always good to have gone on our journey together.
It started, my journey in Dubai started a lot with you, yes.
Yeah. And then as well, Fahad, like, my God, the connection between you and I is phenomenal, because as people might know, my father's a bass player, still plays bass, still in rock bands, still rocking. And
that's beautiful. Whenever I share a stage with you, I can just feel the connection in the flute. It's a bit... I love the flute. Whenever you play, I'm just lost. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Well, to many more, gents. And I hope you guys have enjoyed this journey. Any final last statements for our listeners?
I would like to thank all of you, of course, as well, to embark on this journey with me, and we can go on this journey together. And I want to say that also we have quite a few things planned now. A lot of concerts coming up, ceremonies coming up, cacao ceremonies. Now I know how to make beautiful cacao thanks to the wizard's instructions. And we also have our next single, Like a Phoenix, coming up, where we're going to do a video shoot, and there's going to be an additional little podcast piece about the song and the motivation itself. So there's more to come, and I'm grateful that we got together today for this beautiful occasion, and thank you.
Yeah, I'd like to just say, for me, the deepest thing is the brotherhood that we've created. All right, it's this creative brotherhood, and it started with my relationship with you, and so the brotherhood that we created has linked me up to all of this. And the most inspiring thing in my life, and where I've found and connected to my most devoted sacred self, is through music and singing. I was doing a lot in ceremonies for 20 years, and now this project has really allowed me to bring that out into more of a public display, which is a really beautiful journey for me. And and I have Franz to thank for that, as your singer-songwriting skills and devotion to that process has really brought it out in me as well. So inspiring to see this evolve. I feel that this is also just the beginning, and I feel that there's so much more that's coming, and I'm really excited to be in this creative process with a brotherhood that's really,
Aho.
Yeah.
No.
Enough said. Aho.
Fahad, any final thoughts for you?
I can't wait to make more music with you guys. Play a lot more music. This is just our first album, and it's that good. I can't wait for what's to come next. Feel like we're gonna release some world-changing stuff.
Yeah.
Open.
Yeah, because you've really been, Franz has really been the one who's had a lot of experience in bands and songwriting, and I don't even consider myself a professional. I mean, I'd love singing. It's one of my most debated things. I don't really see myself as a professional singer. I've still got a lot to expand my voice with, and but I feel that we're improving and enhancing our skills in a really beautiful way.
The thing is, in my opinion, because whenever if you listen to the album, you can really feel like, with his songs specifically, you kind of feel them, but they go straight to your heart. But with your songs, they go straight to your brain. You think about what the songs or the lyrics that you're saying, or your style of making music is more, it's going towards the brain. It's making someone sit and contemplate more than they are feeling, right? Which is really hard to do. It's not that easy to get someone to sit and go inside their brain and really contemplate and think about their existence, especially.
Yeah, and it's really nice, because I've been on a journey with, not just a journey with Manai, but my other work that I was doing was really about helping people unfold their limitations, their pain and their suffering, and connect to this notion of self-realization, their divinity. And now it's really from the healing work, now it's coming through the musical creation here. So it's, a beautiful expansion into that journey. So thank you guys.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So just to wrap things up, Craig's going to give us a little drum beat later. No. So this is what usually happens in Franz's music studio. Greig brings out the drum, Franz brings out the guitar, Franz kind of brings the order and brings us together, because a lot of us are doing our thing. But I just wanted to say thank you for listening, if you've gotten this far. And again, follow us. We've obviously got What Matters the Most on Instagram. We've got We Are Life Within, bringing the cacao. And of course, each one of us bringing our own magic individually and together. So thank you for your time, guys. Really hope that everyone enjoys and feels the vibration and the energy and the love that we put into everything. And it's just us saying we'll see you in a few ceremonies. Follow what matters the most. There'll be a couple of announcements coming out, like Franz said, for ceremonies, desert ceremonies coming up, specific gigs, festivals. There's a lot of interest in a masculine, grounded brotherhood that's coming together and actually just making beautiful changes. So, yeah, we'll see you soon. And thank you for watching. It's been a pleasure. Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, right. Sorry. Hey, brother. Yeah, you caught you.